This week, the United States received a piece of economic news for which it has been desperate for months. Inflation, which has been crushing our economy in a years-long surge, has cooled significantly. In the month of June, prices rose only 3% compared to the year before, which is the smallest 12-month increase the country has seen since March of 2021. President Joe Biden was quick to take credit for this and other recent economic victories, such as an increase in jobs and wages. Now, there are many factors that can contribute to changes like this, but if you ask the White House, it's so-called Bidenomics getting the job done. Just 2 weeks ago, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy denounced the strategy as a, quote, economic disaster that will cause decades-high inflation, high gas prices, lower paychecks, and crippling uncertainty that leaves Americans worse off. But, for fact's sake, the Biden administration's policies have actually been tremendously beneficial. In fact, as Timothy Noah of the New Republic pointed out this week, Bidenomics tends to benefit Americans in red states even more than those in blue states. Let's start with the increases we've seen when it comes to personal income across the country. In North Dakota, where Biden lost to Trump by 33 points in 2020, personal income during the first quarter of this year rose 11% from the year previous. That's according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. In Nebraska, which Biden lost by 19 points, personal income rose 11.1%. In South Carolina, which Biden lost by roughly 12 points to Trump, personal income rose 6.8%. All of these increases in personal income exceed the national average of 5.1%. And North Dakota and Nebraska are more than double that average. Let's take a look at some blue states. In California, where Biden won by 29 points, personal income only grew by 0.7%. Biden beat Trump by 23 points in New York, but personal income growth only went up 3.2%. In Maryland, where Biden won by 33 points, there was personal income growth of 5%. Bidenomics isn't remotely a problem for the GOP. It looks like a success, but of course credit will never be given where credit is due. It's reminiscent of the weeks following the passage of President Biden's infrastructure bill, where lawmakers in red states stood firmly in the way of passing that bill, but showed up with bells on and those big ceremonial scissors to cut the big ceremonial ribbons when the projects got underway.
We also passed once-in-a-generation investment in our nation's roads, highways, bridges, railroads, ports, airports, water systems, high-speed internet. We got a little help from Republicans, but not a lot, but enough to get it passed. But the truth is, there are a lot more Republicans taking credit for that bill than we actually voted for it. I see them out there, and now we're going to build this new bridge here. We're all for it. And by the way, this new road, and we're going to have an internet that's going to be all the way. I love them, man. They ain't got no shame. They don't have any shame.
They ain't got no shame indeed. As money started to roll out for infrastructure projects, Republicans went looking for a pat on the back, even after voting against the funding that made those projects possible. Arkansas Senators John Boozman and Tom Cotton announced almost $50 million in grants for their state in a statement that read, quote, this funding will go to infrastructure projects that are critical to maintaining roads, trails, and railways in Arkansas. I am pleased Senator Boozman and I were able to secure the grants for these projects, end quote. Nuh-uh. Both senators voted against Biden's bill. Alabama Congressman Robert Aderholt released a statement saying, quote, I am pleased to announce that the city of Cortland will receive this grant for $1.6 million. I'm always happy to support this type of funding in Congress that provides for the traditional infrastructure needs of our communities, end quote. Whoa, Nellie. Congressman Aderholt voted against Biden's bill. Freshman Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville said, quote, broadband is vital for the success of our rural communities and for our entire economy. Great to see Alabama receive crucial funds to boost ongoing broadband efforts, end quote, to which President Biden responded, see you at the groundbreaking. And yep, you guessed it, Senator Tuberville also voted against Biden's bill. Republicans vocally dragging Biden's economic policies, yet bragging about the federal funding and nationwide economic victories that happened as a result does not make them hometown heroes to their constituents. It simply makes them hypocrites.